It sucks out here. Like, a lot. Like, immensely. Dog. Backing up in a tree this time? You enjoying yourself, bud? Man, it's fucking miserable out here. Hey. Squirrels are attacking. There actually was one hanging out on my scroll platform just for a second earlier. Just sitting there looking cute. Stared at me, checked me out for a minute. Ugh. Actually, don't think it's not terrible to exist outside. Bullshit. Maybe for you, not for me. For me, it's fucking shitty out here. Six, come on. What's he doing? Come on. Let's see if the mail got taken yet or not. 65-year-old mail. Oh, well, fancy fucking you. I guess mail did show up. Alright, something for me and something for mama. Go on. Oof. Well, let's look inside. Alright, let's see what this is. Probably some bullshit. I have to give a fuck about. I love how I was talking about like that debt collection shit from the other day, and when you know that's a piece of mail that. Well, guess what? Fuck off! I ain't paying that. I ain't touching that shit. Pathetic. It's like, that's my purse. I don't know you. It's like, hey, excuse me. Turn this on. Oh, it is low battery. Just have to charge it up. Smoke bowl. Well, give me a minute. Jeez. I can't fucking be smoking a bowl like every 2 seconds here. Fuck, I just like woke up like what, like an hour ago? Well, a little over an hour ago, actually. Not like 2 hours ago. Nice, just remains better than I thought. I mean, you're the one who fucking, like, crows about the 90s being, like, the only era of music worth the fuck, so I thought you already knew that. Yeah, what the fuck? What did I even click? Whoa. Yeah, be going. There we go. Click at random shit. Eh. Most of the games I played back then had soundtracks full of it. I mean, games from back then aren't the only ones with that shit. There's a lot of games today that incorporate a lot of that type of music, if anything. Along with, like, other modern stuff. And if anything, also classic shit, too, from, like, the 80s and 70s. So, I mean, especially, it's just, like, you know, it especially, you know, predominantly, you know, like a major like theme within a lot of, you know, like games and stuff. It's like to have like some kind of hard, you know, when it comes to like, you know, adding like a sense of energy or angst or something like that to a game. I mean, from it's largely either idealist, IMO, or just flat out weird. What I listen to isn't even that weird, or frankly, even that overtly idealistic. I mean, yeah, like a lot of the artists I listen to, like, dude, but fucking musicians are idealists. They're altruists. I mean, of course, like a lot of music I'm gonna listen to is very idealistic or altruistic and shit, or esoteric and stuff. Most music is. Well, that labor shit is idealist as fuck, and also something that you know is like relatable to most people. To a lot, unless they're you know someone who's like exceptionally rich or hasn't been in that field before. Yeah, it's idealist, but also is a commentary of the actual reality of like you know reality people face and you know of what people struggle with. Like that old oldie day style like American folk music like had a lot of like hardcore like just strict union based like you know themes just in the music itself. I mean, just straight up. And also, you're one to talk too, by the way. I mean, you listen to a lot of music that's pretty idealistic too. So, I mean, yeah, just because we have different, you know, like idealism, you know, that we look at in music, doesn't mean that yours isn't, you know, less idealistic or more so or what. I mean, if anything, also there's like plenty of other music that doesn't talk about like labor, so to speak. There's plenty of music that I listen to that goes about other things too. Not labor idealism. Well, in order to have tech idealism, you need labor. Because the only reason why tech is you know a major thing and actually you know grows and advances is because of a worker. Portrays the Soviet futures with tech, and is that somehow less idealistic or like less weird than my stuff? Oh my god, dude, you're a needy little bastard, bro. I feel like I build this damn food ball 3 times a day. It needs some water. Don't be smacking these bells. Yeah, there you go. Maybe we'll go faster if they're properly treated, but time marches on regardless. And, I mean, okay. Yeah, time marches on regardless, but, so? Is that supposed to stop me? Is that supposed to stop me, good sir? Course not. I think you're trying to imply I should just roll over, give up, and die. I think you're trying to, make me a defeatist. Just bow to the system and just, take the pleasures of the whip, maximizing our suffering, and just vote. For that is literally all you can do. So suck it up. Our end goals are doable, not lifetimes. What do you mean by, end goals? I mean, I kind of, I don't know if I buy the premise. What would be the end goals, specifically? Because, I mean, I don't really have, some, real major, end goal outside of just, maximizing, just human prosperity, which, I mean, that's always going to be that's kind of a goal that doesn't really have a end to it. I mean, every era of humanity is always going to have different, conditions or needs, when it comes to that. So, I mean, it's just about maximizing that, which which that isn't an impossible feat. Fucking hard for sure. It's never easy. In fact, in a way, I wouldn't want it to be a cakewalk. A great end game would be world government reaching for the stars. You want me to devolve in my future strengths again? I'm still waking up. Also, when it comes to, my music, by the way, there's definitely plenty of stuff I don't listen to, that I listen to that isn't, fucking, political or idealistic. Some of it's just fucking silly. I listen to Ailstorm, Gloryhammer, Grail Knights, Nanowar Steel, and shit. Those bands don't have any, at least as far as I'm aware, any political songs. I mean, Nanowar Steel, maybe, but if anything, if they do, it's a parody. It's meant to be a satire, but, but even then, they don't. I mean, so there's definitely different bands out there that don't make it their big whole thing, to be kind of idealistic or some shit. I mean, if anything, a lot of bands I listen to tend to, incorporate it sometimes, but it's not their big thing. I mean, honestly, a lot of my, I guess, idealism in music really comes from critique of, religion, critique of Puritanism, and just, a critique of just conformity and stuff, which a lot of music I listen to is certainly counterconformist and definitely idealistic in that front, whether the politics of it are involved in it or not. Prosperity for all men is going on, but we need to be as one on a space level. Dark Force theory, either we're not alone or we're not, and both are horrible. Dark Force, you mean the Dark Jungle theory? I guess it probably has different names. But yeah, I mean, the Dark Jungle theory or the Dark Force theory, yeah, I mean, for me, it's just like, assuming we were alone in galaxy, we could truly end war. If not, then war will never end. I don't know if I completely agree with that. We don't know how, like, other sentient races would be like, if they were, intergalactic and shit. We just want to know, like, their, like, idea of, like, psychology, culture, all this shit would be certainly different than us. Like, and if anything, probably even, not completely recognizable to us outside of maybe, like, something that might be, like, considered insectoid in behavior or some shit or whatever the fuck, right? Like, so, I mean, we maybe at least initially we probably wouldn't know how to fucking communicate with that. Look how we treat the disadvantage of our own. Well, that's humanity. Like, when it comes to, like, aliens from another world across the galaxy or some shit, like, we can potentially make inferences with our own species and shit and behaviors of life on Earth, but, like, the conditions here on Earth for life are going to be way fucking different than conditions for life on, like, some other planet across the galaxy or some shit that we haven't discovered or whatever, right? Like, so it's, like, it's, I don't know, like, it's one of those things where it's just kind of left to speculation. Crunch how we would treat aliens, especially if they're a lower tech level and we find them. I highly doubt that would be the case. I'm pretty sure any aliens we find are going to be way more advanced and superior to us in, like, pretty much every goddamn way. So no matter how we fucking feel about that. Like, I mean, especially if there's, like, a more, like, conservative-esque, like, pompous, like, leadership that thinks, oh, they're better than them because they're the Xenos or some shit. Like, it would not be good. If you think about it, depends. I mean, yeah, it all depends. I mean, it's like a far future speculative idea about what, the world look like. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, for all we know, like, I mean, intergalactic aliens might be, at least, ones we might discover might just be neutral and, just don't care one way or the other. Maybe they might be genuinely friendly. Maybe they'll be, like, fucking cosmic spiders and consume all of our planet and all the resources on said planet. I mean, I'm just saying, it's like, who knows how it'll turn out. We could find Terminators. And we could find, like, a sentient race of anthropomorphic furry unicorns. I mean, like, who knows? Until it happens, I mean, we can only speculate. That's why we need to be as one. I mean, the thing is, even if our, like, planet was divided, I do think there would, like, something like that would genuinely, like, unify a large swath of the planet, even if we were still divided on many things. Like, just because, like, if there's at least concrete evidence and actual proof, and it's like, no, yep, they're real this time, we found them, or they found us, then, I think there would be at least more of a genuine interest of, like, unifying. I mean, I still think it'll probably take some time before it actually, like, coalesce and manifested, but I think, like, a good chunk of, like, society, around the world would probably, kind of, come into agreement with, like, we should probably at least, like, work together collectively about this. Should happen regardless, for the record. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, uniting, not just humanity, but frankly, life on this fucking planet, and maximize prosperity is, like I said, the end goal. At least for me. And, like, like, however, that ends up being, at least when it comes to the maximization of prosperity, to me, would be good. But, of course, there's, like, 8,000 kajillion ways, that could happen, and most of them are fucked up and not good. So it's like, I mean, it's just about maximizing and pushing towards that path. And, yeah, I mean, I guess technically aliens are a part of that equation if you really wanted to. I personally don't, just because, I mean, realistically, we're not going to have that event happening anytime soon unless we're, like, already intergalactic spacefaring. Like, we're able to, like, get shit out of our solar system, have it come back, and shit like that. I think until that happens, like, I don't really think we're gonna really have much for intergalactic life, coming over here. Besides, like, I mean, when it comes to the galaxy itself, we're kind of in the boonies. Like, where Earth is and where our solar system is, and in accordance to the rest of the galaxy, we're literally in, like, the boonies of our galaxy. Which actually, I think, helps of us in a way, because, like, it does help, with the conditions of the planet to be able to harbor life. Like, I mean, other parts of the galaxy are more hotter, so to speak, like in temperature, in comparison to to our little neck of the woods. And thus, like, you know, if life were to evolve, in those different types of conditions, like I said, they would develop way differently than we would. Just because on like little virtues, like where they are in the galaxy and how close they are to the center of it and how far they are, and all that shit. There's a lot of variables that you probably don't necessarily think about that really do play a role in how life evolves. I mean, that's why it's theoretically possible that we're probably the only life, at least in this galaxy, potentially. I mean, if there is other life, it probably is in other pockets of the galaxy where it's like little like little rural boony esque style, like little just barely anything out there type of shit. Because that's kind of where we're at. Like the closest star system to us is like what 5.2 or like 6.2 something light years away, with Proxima Centauri. Like, or Alpha Centauri or something like that. I mean, other places in the galaxy, like stars could literally be like a couple light years away, like 2 point something light years away from each other. Which again, kind of applies to how more warmer, so to speak, the rest of the galaxy would be, because you have all these stars closer together, pushing off so much, like cosmic heat, out into space. While out here, not so much, which makes it easier for life to live. But at least for life for us. Like, I mean, like I said, life might, evolve completely differently in other parts of the galaxy, and we wouldn't know how the fuck that shit operates because the conditions will be fundamentally different from here. I know this much, at least when it comes to silicon-based life. I know it's been theoretical that might be a thing, but from my understanding, it's very, very unlikely that, that would be able to work. Or at least be possible, just because, like, a lot of the components that make life, aren't there. Though, I mean, my rebuttal with that is that maybe we just don't understand all the complexities of life itself. I mean, because, we do have viruses, right? Like, they're not traditional forms of life. They're like, they're based off an RNA specifically, and are like in this kind of like Schrodinger's life almost. Like, they're not technically alive, but they are alive. And they don't have like the same traditional means of life that we, like other life does, like bacteria, single cells, etc. But nonetheless, they're living things. So it's, like it, like, so we already have like at least some stuff on our planet that doesn't inherently like operate in traditional forms of life. I mean, at least it's something we recognize and can understand a little bit, but it, if that's the case, then there's probably other ways that life can find a way, so to speak. And maybe silica probably ain't it, but who knows? I mean, there is a lot of like life forms that are like, hell at the bottom of the ocean where it's like sulfur, silica bullshit and all that stuff. And they very much directly feed off of it and like thrive in that environment, if anything. Like they're like extremophiles, basically. So extremophile based life could potentially exist, with that type of stuff in mind. Because it already does here on our own planets. Now, whether, like all these other theoretical aspects about that life, is possible, that's, I don't know. It's all speculative still. At least, from what we understand of life as we know it currently. Who knows? We might discover some new shit, and it might, like, kind of break some, boundaries of what we understand about life as we know it, and we might, end up having to kind of, like, relearn some shit a little bit. Who knows? We found non-Earth bacteria, so we have found non-terrestrial life. I thought we've had that for a while. I thought we've discovered that, like, for some time. Because don't they speculate, like, the deep crust of, like, Mars still has, like, like, aquifer pockets and shit like that in Mars, because there's, like, methane pockets that keep getting released. And the only real explanation for it would potentially be, like, underwater, like, lakes and stuff like that. I mean, Earth has that shit, right? So, I mean, I think they theoretically think that Mars has some of that shit too, and there might be like bacterial life that lives under there, and that's causing that to be the case. Because I mean, from what I understand, like Mars is for the most part pretty dormant, right? So it's just like nothing really goes. Like I don't think the volcanoes are active as far as I'm aware. So the only other thing that would probably explain it would be that. I don't think there's like concrete proof of it. It's just a theory for now, but like, isn't it already kind of known that there is at least life out there potentially? It's just not like us, right? Like it's not, or like any other macro life. It's just going to be micro life, like single cell or multi cell organisms, bacteria, stuff like that. Still cool, still fucking awesome, but I mean, that it, like discovering life in space is not really going to be as exciting as it once, yeah, as it first seems, at least. At least is what people think. Just because, I mean, like the first life we're going to discover, no matter what, it's always going to be like some micro life or like some single or multi-celled organism or something like that. Like, I mean, the first life we see in space is not going to be like, Spock or some shit coming down on his spacecraft, you know what I mean? So, I want to give Zook a whole McDonald's 20-piece nuggets and fries. No. What, are you trying to abuse him? At least give him something quality and actually good. Trying to win his love. Win the love with like some pork buns or something. What if I gave Curly catnip? I'm sure that would be fine. I'm pretty sure my dad does that sometimes anyway. What's up, buddy? Ever tried moon rocks? Yeah. I mean, there's kind of a way to make them yourself, too. This is like get like some wax or dab, put a bunch of keef all over it until it's nice and covered. And then you just like put that bitch in the bowl and smoke it up. At least that's one variation of a moon rock. I don't know how, and I don't have enough keef. I mean, basically, at least a standard moon rock is basically just get like a little bit of oil or wax and just like roll it in keef. Can I help you? What? Go sit over there. I don't have anything for you right now. $35 a gram for moon rocks at Dispo. What? I just fed you and gave you water. What do you want? And you just went outside too. Goofball. What a goofball. Dog is so goofy. Oh, by the way, I got the mail already. I got the mail already, by the way. Yeah? There's only 2 pieces, and... Oh, to count them. One of them's for me, and I already opened it. Which is just bullshit junk mail, anyway. Yeah, just one thing. It was just 2 pieces. Something for me and something for Mama. This is interesting. Climate deniers have found the loopholes in YouTube's misinformation policies, and the platform is pocketing a major profit from their content. To the tune up to $13.4 million a year. Man, fuck this platform, bro. Oh, I get fucking dinged here for, like, critiquing and challenging this shit, but they overtly profit off of the fact that he exists. Fuck you, YouTube. I mean, this is why your shit's inconsistent, why, I am annoyed to shit by your bullshit, YouTube. Like, I mean... Good fucking grief. Gotta love it. Oh yeah, we're gonna have, like, misinformation policies that are gonna help, like, crack down on misinformation and stuff. Oh, did it, like, pretty much completely backfire? Well, oops. I'm not even inherently against those policies. In fact, I think they're okay, but oh my god, at least, like, use them properly. Like, holy shit. That's why people kind of get a little iffy by the idea, because of shit like this. I mean, because, like, what the fuck? Like, if it's going to be inconsistent, or if anything, kind of help propagate these fucking ideas, instead of crack it down on them, then what the fuck's the point of it in the first place? At that point, it's just like, information censor instead of a disinfo censor. So, like, what the fuck? Like, how's that supposed to help anything? Besides just, like, garner a bunch of fucking money for, the company and shit to, try to make it profitable to have a platform. Which is pretty much a part of the reason why these policies exist. Like, it's an attempt to try to make, these platforms profitable. Like, the guy, the CEO on Twitch has been trying to do that. Like, Amazon, owning Twitch has been trying to do that. YouTube, Google with YouTube has been trying to do that. Like, they try to make them profitable and stuff, and thus make them just fucking cesspools and just inconsistent fucking bullshit to fucking be on as a platform. So then people are like, man, I have to basically walk a goddamn, tightrope over a bunch of broken eggshells, hoping, that, like, I don't accidentally misstep or something and fucking cause, like, something haram against YouTube's policies, which isn't. It's just fucking absurd. Let's see what little things we have for too. Let's see what video we could look at. Oh, actually, you know what? I know what we could look at. I just have it ready to go for a minute. Because there's been a little something amusing that, going on with a certain Republican out there. Where he unintentionally, like, endorsed a specific bill that kind of raised some red flags, I would say. It's not just your stereotypical anti-trans shit either. It ain't book ban. It ain't one of those either. It's just peculiar. But like I said, we'll give it a minute. The local bar at the doghouse is apparently also an office supply store or a hardware store. What? I couldn't fully tell. What, did you like go inside? Did you check it out or something? I just let him out earlier. Yeah, for like a minute. Part hardware store. Well, you should see what they got. Fuck it. Grab, it's like, hey, I need to go grab, some supplies for the office or for, like, my workshop or something. Yeah, I got another 20 minutes, I'll grab a beer or something from the bar, like, literally around the corner of the store itself. I mean, that's actually kind of not a bad idea. Like, have, like, a little bar just to kind of, like, hang out and, just, like, do some shopping and before you go home, like, have a quick beer or something. It's like having a beer or whatever after, shopping or before you go shopping or something like that. That ain't a big deal. I mean, honestly, it sounds like you could kind of get away with, like, having a beer while you're, like, shopping. Do we need drunks messing with power tools? I mean, you didn't really, like, completely imply, like, what the hell it is. Is it an office store or a hardware store? Like, an office store is different from hardware. Like with, like power tools and shit. Which I'm assuming that's probably what it is. I mean, I couldn't tell. Well, okay. Well, if you couldn't tell, then who knows, I guess. I'm just saying that as a concept. I don't mean like, oh yeah, let's like, have like a warehouse, hardware store or some shit. Like, fucking have like a full functional bar. I mean, just like a little office store, even a grocery store or something. I'm thinking like, shit that doesn't really involve like power tools and stuff. You know what I mean? Like if it's like an office store where it's like, no, I need to get some stuff for the office, but might as well have a beer while I shop. I mean, why not? I mean, it's like at that, it seems kind of chill. Walmart here sells liquor and that blows my damn mind. Well, this is probably just because of how the state laws of liquor are. Like, I mean, Oregon's different with that shit. I mean, grocery stores can sell things like wine, anything less than that, but not like straight up liquor. Like the most like ABV I've seen at a grocery store for anything, whether it's wine or like or an orange wine that's meant to kind of be like a watered down liquor, basically, like would be like 21%. Because I think the limit is like 22%. So some places will straight up like kind of skirt the line a little bit. Because I think most places, when it comes to at least that do have those laws or restrictions, are usually kind of keep it around like 20-25% or something like that. Just because most wine is usually around like 11 to like 18% or something like that. So that's a way to kind of like push it without actually like pushing it. It's kind of a way around it. That's where you want to have booth supply because no dedicated liquor store. I mean, that does kind of suck, to be honest with you. It's like, how do you not have like a dedicated liquor store there? You think there at least be one? You cold and wet now? Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, I'm not touching you. You look cold and wet. If I can close that door since he's back inside, we'll check this video out. I do a stretch first, real quick. Oh. Let's see if Streamlabs supposed to be cool. Yay. All right.
This week, Kentucky Republican Nick Wilson, this guy, sponsored House Bill 269.
This guy looks like a fucking nerd, dude. A nerd that should not be within 10 miles of a school.
Would, wait for it, legalize incestuous relationships between first cousins. Yeah. Newsweek.
God love it. It has my vote. Oh my god. You nasty bastard. Of course you're going to be like, oh, well, what's the problem here? Do you also believe in, like, do you also agree with, like, what, 2012 era or, like, 2010 era jank where he's like, you know, if you're getting an animal off, then I think that should be legalized. So, you know, because unironically he did actually do that. So, I mean, it's like, I mean, do you also agree with that there, Venom? Are you just, like, that much of a degenerate fuck? Because it's like, I mean, you know, first we'll do first cousins. Where's the slippery slope stop? It doesn't. Yes, of course he would say that. Do you remember how we were talking about Vosh unironically advocating landlords? Well, this doesn't have to do with landlords, but I argue it's close. Wait, what is this? What's going on here? What's happening? Fucking Vosh unironically bad. How do you miss this art? It's embarrassing, and FYI, I've literally been to Italy and the food there has changed my life. Oh, this? Oh, me and Venom were talking about this last night. I mean, Italian food can be good and stuff, but whatever. I mean, you know, like, to me, like, I'm like, there's other places around the world that I think, you know, kind of go more hard on the food. I mean, like, pretty much like every country in Asia has like some banging bomb, just slaying fucking fire ass shit. I mean, you know, so I don't know. Like, for me, it's like, sure, I guess depending on what the dish is, but at the same time, there could be some hearty ass fucking, you know, meals with Italian food. In fact, I'd argue some of them are kind of like, you know, cheap working class style meals, like spaghetti, right? Like, you know, spaghetti is, you know, basically just pasta, red tomato marinara type of sauce, and then just meat with like some veggies and seasoning, right? Like, so it's pretty simple, and, you know, in a way, it can be very fucking hearty. So, I mean, you know, it's like, and yeah, I mean, well, garlic bread, I mean, the thing is, you know, Italians aren't the only ones with garlic bread. And frankly, Texan-style garlic bread, way fucking better. Sorry. I mean, you know, and pizza, yeah, but America kind of upgraded pizza. In fact, I'm pretty sure pizza is actually an American invention anyway. I'm actually pretty sure pizza did not originate from Italy. I think it originated from, like, Italian immigrants, you know, that came to America and shit. But I don't think it's specifically Italian. Like, so, like, there's honestly legit, unironically, some misnomers about Italian food, to be frank. So that's also another thing here, too. Are we talking about, like, Americanized Italian food? Or we're talking about Italian food? That's another thing. That's another factor here. Like, you know, so I don't know. I mean, to me, this, like, I haven't seen the video, so I don't know what the fuck Vosh says. But, I mean, like, I'm not going to literally, like, you know, man the front line trenches, you know, over this steak. You know what I'm saying? I might help with the logistics and sending supplies to the people that are, like, going out, having a hoopla over it. But, I mean, you know, it's, like, to me, it's, like, frankly, his music tastes and shit like that are way fucking worse. Honestly, he has way worse takes. His fashion takes are goddamn absurd. His music takes are ridiculous. I mean, I don't think he's honestly anti-war, because I'm pretty sure, like, every time a war or some shit breaks out, he usually seems to be either neutral or somewhat okay with it. So, yeah, that's also kind of like, you know, an issue. This would be what America is to Ukraine right now. Yep. Pretty much. German food is alright. German food could be fucking fire, dude. In German beer scene, no one does it better. Mamma mia. Sabra Houthi. I saw some of that, and at least Vosh's little fucking video about it, and frankly, his like response to the whole thing was really fucking annoying. I mean, and honestly, like, so what? Like, I mean, wouldn't it, like, isn't it like a good thing to maybe have a someone's perspective like that is kind of like on the ground, so to speak, about this issue? I mean, you could take or leave, or agree or not with what the fuck they say, but I mean, wouldn't that be kind of a good thing? Because, like, hey, what does one of these people on the ground maybe think about this shit? Since, they're getting bombed the fuck by the US and UK over this. Well, hey, let's have one of them on. I mean, like, I don't see that as a bad thing. I agree, Vosh, to be honest. Why? Like, honestly, why? Like, I mean, explain the reasoning with this. Because, like, why is it okay for us to bomb the fuck out of Yemen just because, of, like, piracy in response to a genocide of Palestine? Which is a direct escalation of destabilization and war in the Middle East. So, I mean, how's that a good thing? How's that justifiable? Don't expect to get shot back at. You do realize that they're, targeting, specific vessels too, right? And also, at the same time, most maritime trade companies aren't traveling for there anymore. Like, as soon as that happened, they all rerouted. Because they're like, well, don't want to take that risk. Bloop, rerouting. I mean, so, at this point, there's not a lot of trade going in the Red Sea anymore. Because most of them aren't taking the risk. Like, because there's already about, like, the Somali pirates not even that long ago. So it's like, it's something that, they kind of take into account that, yeah, piracy in that region is something that happens. And they lied to expand their targets. They didn't lie. Like, they got bombed the fuck out of. They said they're now expanding to British and American vessels as well that might be in that region. And after being bombed the fuck out of because they said they would retaliate because of that. Which, yeah, they are. Like, they didn't lie. They just responded after getting bombed the fuck out of. Which, yeah, they're going to expand on British and U.S. fucking, vessels of shit after getting directly bombed by them. They didn't lie. They just responded in retaliation after, like, the British and U.S. bombed them. Because the U.S. and British bombed them in reaction to them starting to do piracy against Israeli-backed vessels and shit going for that area. I mean, like, this is why Vosh is, like, honestly, when it comes to foreign politics or geopolitical affairs, is just kind of stupid. It's like, yeah, and the thing is, like, let's say the genocide does stop in Gaza, and, the Houthis still keep doing piracy and shit, then, we'll, respond accordingly then at that point. Which, instead of, like, hyperbolically reacting by bombing the fuck out of Yemen, maybe just setting up a carrier task force there and just let it chill for, like, a good year or two or something. It's just like that, like, would honestly provide better results and also keep the regions somewhat stabilized instead of just bombing the fuck out of a place. Like, because having a carrier task force, patrolling the Red Sea and shit, like, little, like, tugboat boats and shit like that aren't going to do shit to a fucking destroyer. Or a fucking carrier, or, fucking battle cruiser. Like, it ain't gonna do shit to that. So, I mean, just, send a task force there, and, those fucking Houthis won't be able to do shit. I mean, the best thing they really got are some helicopters, and we have a plethora of anti-aircraft munitions where those fucking things will be shot out of the sky before they even get close. So, I mean, it's like, just send a fucking carrier task force there, and just fucking, just plop it there. They're smart starting with at least with the least valuable as a warning. Yeah. Best defense is good offense. That's literally what the Houthis are doing. That's what they're doing, bro. We're defending Israeli efforts and affairs geopolitically by doing this shit. Like, this isn't just some, like, oh, well, the Houthis just decided to do some piracy, coincidentally while genocide's going on. It's not like they decided one day just to do this. Someone called that assault. Because it is assault. We're securing a trade route. Oh, like, yeah, because, like, a bunch of multi-billion-dollar corporations losing a little bit of profit over, some maritime trade being cut off. Like, big fucking whoop. Like, when there's, like, apartheid and genocide going on, like, that's not exactly the biggest concern for me. If there's, like, groups out there using, disrupting that shit, as a way to call out that fucking genocide, I mean, like, it's just a very bigger fucking, like, a larger regional version of, like, what protesters disrupting roads and highways and shit like that would be doing. Because that also disrupts trade, that disrupts commerce. Affects you in the macro. The genocide in Gaza and the Palestinians, affects us on a macro level. Like, all this shit affects us on a macro level. Your point? Didn't care about Palestinians. None of surrounding governments do. In comparison to the United States or Israel or, like, most of the, like, Western world that is back in Israel right now, they at least care a little bit more than we do. That's not, like, these are irrelevant to me. Like, I mean, the actions matter more than what they might think. And the actions responding to the genocide and shit, are meant to be and are more impactful and more meaningful and not just in my opinion, but as a reaction to the genocide, more so than what they might think about it. And whether they give a fuck at the end of the day or not about them is really the point. If their actions are saying, hey, stop the fucking genocide, then that's, that's what their actions say. If they'd evade to stop this, if all of the Muslim countries combined and thought they would push Israel out. It's, you do realize these things are, like, way more complicated than that. Like, if every Muslim country decided to unify and try to push Israel out, like, that would basically cause, like, a global fucking war that would make the concept of World War III look tame. Like, that's just, that would not work. What would is, like, Biden giving a fucking phone call to stop the genocide and, maybe not bomb the shit out of Yemen. Maybe it's the fact the U.S. is backing Israel. Yeah, which they're supposed to be our puppet. Like, why in the fuck are they making us the puppet? Because they're pretty much, like, saying, yeah, there's no ultimatum. The U.S. just gives us the green light. We can do whatever we want. It's like, if anything, they're the puppet to us, not the other way around. And it should be that they're our fucking puppet, and we should be stomping on them because they're misbehaving. They're living on borrowed time. I mean, they're living on borrowed time now, to be honest. I mean, it's just like, it's only a matter of time eventually with this shit. Netanyahu's literally declared that, this is not going to stop, until, like, 2025. And in fact, he's even, said, hey, let's go further with it. So, as far as I'm concerned, like, I mean, this shit's going to be going on for quite some fucking time. And that's just going to mean that it's, like, an assured guarantee that, like, no one's going to be forgetting about this anytime soon. Which, that means, Biden's just done. He's done. Because, like, he's hedging his bets on people forgetting this shit. And if it's going to literally continue to escalate for the entire fucking year and then some, and for longer than that probably, then that just means that no one's forgetting about that. It's always going to be there. It's going to be on your fucking mind every fucking day. There's going to be some updates, and shit. It's going to be more escalation. There's always going to be fucking something going on with it. And people are going to be paying fucking attention. They're not just going to forget it. It's why, like, when shit starts, going tit for tat escalation with this shit, whether it's like Hezbollah or the Houthis or whatever the fuck, like, this is why, somehow excusing, their actions as totally, completely separate and saying the U.S. response to what the fuck they're doing is somehow justified is bullshit. Because, if anything, it just shows how naive they, people are about that situation. Because they don't realize that it's just another escalation of tit for tat to a potential global fucking war, to a World War III. Because, like, Iran's not flexing their fucking muscles. They bombed Pakistan, for fuck's sake, out of nowhere. Why Pakistan? I don't know, but they did it anyway. As a reaction to this shit. So, I mean, and you don't think that's a response to what's going on in Yemen and in Israel and Gaza? Because it is. And the only way that, a lot of this shit will die down and stop is if that fucking genocide stops. It's pretty plain fucking simple. That's the simple part of it. But no one wants to do that. Pakistan's a nuclear armed state. There's at least 4 nuclear armed, states that are involved in this shit right now. The UK, America, Israel, and Iran now at this point. And now 5 if you count Pakistan. Because now they're involved because Iran decided to bomb them for some good googly reason. So, now there's at least 5 fucking, potentially nuclear armed states. Well, actually Iran isn't, but they're developing one. Or at least trying to, thanks to Trump backing out of that fucking Iran deal. So, at this point, now we got multiple nuclear armed nations and now added one, to the whole fucking fiasco because of the shit. Because of the whole tit-for-tat escalation going on. All because Israel wants to do a fucking Nazi-like ethnic cleansing and a Holocaust of the Palestinian people. On the U.S. fucking dime. I would make no bones about it. I don't even inherently like the Houthis or Hamas or Hezbollah. I mean, at the end of the day, fuck them. But, the point isn't, are they bad or not? The point is, what are their actions saying right now? And it's saying, hey, our priorities, have switched, to trying to stop the genocide in Gaza and respond to Israel in some way. And Hezbollah's responded very directly since they're in Lebanon and border Israel. And the Houthis, since, they're in Yemen, nowhere near fucking Israel, the only thing they can really do is, hit some maritime trade that's going to Israel or backed by Israeli companies and shit like that. And, I mean, it's and yeah, you can say it's good, bad, right, or wrong, but if you really truly want to stop it, then that genocide needs to fucking stop. I mean, that is what really grinds my fucking gear about it. It's it's not whether it's is America inherently justified with this or not? I mean, there's an appropriate response to shit like this, but what we're doing is literally just escalation of, destabilization and chaos and bloodshed in the fucking Middle East. That's what it is. Fundamentally. It's non-justifiable, period. Like I said, I'd be fine if there was just a carrier task force just plopped there. And just sitting there and fucking, hey, if Houthis start approaching, trying to fuck some shit up, then, I don't think they're going to do shit to a battlecruiser. Or a fucking destroyer with, fucking, every goddamn, anti-personnel, anti-aircraft, anti-ship, anti-everything equipment all over that thing, It's they ain't gonna do shit. So, just plop one of them fucking task force there and just wait it out. Because at that point, Houthis won't be able to do dick. Actually care about Palestinians and not their own conflicts. Of course they care predominantly about their own conflict. You really, it's pretty fucking naive that, to think that this is, somehow uniquely, separate from the whole issue. Because, it just simply isn't. Sorry, it just isn't. You can't just, weave out, what's going on in Yemen as, a completely separate issue. It just isn't. They're just capitalizing on the current anti-Israel sentiment. Oh, just like a lot of these fucking pro-Palestinian protesters, at the White House and different places around the United States and in the world too, doing protests and shit. Are they all just, strictly anti-Israelis, just, capitalizing on it too? I mean, it's just where I say that, it's kind of analogous. I mean, you're saying it, but pretty much, a lot of fucking people within the State Department, and when it comes to Zionist talking points, that is unironically what they fucking say. I mean, this is why it doesn't have, relevance to me. Yeah, because there's probably plenty of fucking genuinely piece of shit people out there that, capitalize on it. Yeah, but so? I mean, so what? Slight tangent, but when I see things like, oh, religion gives people comfort, and then you have the Israelis using that as a justification to commit war crimes, that's why I have to say fuck comfort. I want to say Nazi shit like that. I'm not saying that you are. But again, that those type of talking points are literally used by just like average, people protesting this shit and who aren't doing violence or anything like that. But nonetheless, it's just like it's anything that comes to like criticizing reactions to the Israeli actions against Palestinians, like these things are always used as a way to just dismiss it as like, oh, they're just radicals, anti-Semites, pieces of shit, they're just anti-Jewish and blah blah blah. I mean, and yeah, maybe the Houthis are that, legitimately. But, I mean, on the one hand, it's like you can't just fucking rule out, like, the actions that, they're using for this shit. And yeah, there's still, and I don't like them. It's like, what? It's like, do you condemn Hamas not going to be, do you condemn the Houthis going to be the new one now? Is that, like, another one that we're having here? Because it's absurd. It just, like, takes away from the whole fucking, it just like takes away from the whole actual problem that's going on. It just like it devolves away from the real fucking issue here. They're flagging there. I don't care what their stupid rag of a fucking flag looks like. Like I know it has like glory to Islam, fucking curse upon the Jews, death to America, and all this other shit on it. Yeah, I know it has that shit. I could give a fuck what their rag looks like. I mean, like the Palestinian flag could have that fucking shit and I wouldn't give a fuck. Like, what's their flag have to do with anything? Besides, like, their ideology backing, which everyone already knows what it is. Because, because what I'm saying isn't, like, Houthis suddenly are great, awesome people. They're certainly all good and based, my dude. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying look at what their actions are concurrently, especially when it comes to, like, tying it to the Israeli genocide, because that's what it is. Like, it's tied to that shit. What they're doing is response to that. And you can say they certainly have ulterior motives, because sure, they probably do. And frankly, I won't even disagree with that to an extent. But, it's like, at this point, it's like, if you really want to see, that shit be de-escalated, when it comes to the actions of the Houthis, or even Hezbollah and shit, then, I don't know, stop the fucking genocide going on in Israel. And that's not even really directly at, people calling for that shit. It's, directly at the fucking administration right now that's, doing it. Like, fucking pressure that. But no, these same motherfuckers don't want to do that. They want to, like, fucking bend over backwards to somehow justify American actions now. And justify, their fucking position on the genocide. Like, Vosh seemed like, he was, for example, seemed like, he was pretty gun-ho about, criticizing and saying fuck Biden over this shit, but now that, he's reacting, to this whole Houthi shit, now suddenly he's kind of switched his fucking tune about it. It's like, oh, suddenly now it's okay to be complicit with the genocide? Now it's okay? Because, like, we weren't making the same excuses for fucking Hamas. Because fuck Hamas, but, like, I mean, it's like, if the nuance, for that shit was there, then why isn't it here? Because, fuck Hamas, they're a piece of shit too. Though we can at least still understand, why they have the positions and the reaction that they do when it comes to this shit. So why ain't the same fucking thing here? Bush did, he's more confident than you. Yes! Yeah, I was in college for only 2 years, but yeah, a lot of classes I took were, yes, political classes. I've talked about that on my streams before. Yeah, I actually have. And you know what? I could give a fuck if he has a degree in that shit or not, which he doesn't. He has a sociology degree. And by the way, just because you have a sociology degree doesn't inherently mean you took political classes. Just saying. I mean, I was, going for, just gen ed degree, at least to start with, and even then I'll still take political classes. But either way, it's not the point. Like, just because someone's education happens to be more ivory tower, holier than thou academia bullshit doesn't necessarily mean they're correct. Because, I mean, look at people like Richard Dawkins, for example, right? Like, major academic, very intelligent person, but fucking like an unhinged turf freak now. And acting like a total idiot. So, and also Ben Carson, very smart, like neurosurgeon, and really specialized and talented and skilled in his craft. But when it comes down to his politics and everything else about him, he's a fucking idiot. So, just because someone happens to be lofty and smart and genuinely skilled or talented at something doesn't mean that they're stupid in plenty of other things. By the way, not saying that higher education is bad. Just putting that out there. It is good, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're somehow, someone having a higher education means they're somehow better or smarter than everyone else. But I like how we're about to get into this incest freak politician guy from Kentucky, and we devolved into this. How did it even start? I don't even know. Who cares? Whatever. I mean, we got it out of our system, right? I hope we did.
The Kentucky Republican has
Let's have a little fun, at least.
Legislation that would amend the state's law so a person who had sex with their first cousin would no longer be criminally liable for incest. Kentucky law states that a person is guilty of incest if they engage in sexual relations with a person they know to be, quote, his or her parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, great-grandparent, great-grandchild, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, brother, sister, first cousin, ancestor, or descendant. The amendment introduced by Wilson, if passed, would remove first cousin from this list.
Wow. Just, what the fuck? I mean, look, I will admit, I don't, should it be criminal? I don't know. Maybe, but if anything, it should probably just be a court order of you no longer get to contact this person. You're done. Get, say you get, no contact, shit like that. Whatever the fuck. And maybe fucking court ordered therapy sessions or some shit, until deemed okay or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's just should it be outright criminal? I don't know about that. Maybe, I guess. I mean, sure, honestly, I'm not really strongly positioned one way or the other at that, but I mean, definitely quarter permanent, never talking to that person again, / therapy sessions until you die, basically. We need to flag straight to the point, either some kind of simple or short message. Fuck Israel, religious people with straw man as cement, but you can't really have one that says fuck Israel, but Jews as people are fine as people practice religion. Judaism as long as trying to force anyone else. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's why I kind of like some of the different Palestinian resistance flag movements and shit, because there's a few different versions, and all of them are pretty simple to the point. And also, I mean, I kind of like, just simple, shapes, too. But not just, a tricolor thing or whatever the fuck. I mean, something that's kind of cool. You got, maybe you got, some, triple bar stripe thing at the bottom, and then you got, some, horizontal thing, third thing going on here, and then you got, some cool little symbol, somewhere else and shit. I got it. Fuck Israel, love Jews. That's pretty simple to the point. I mean, there's also different anti-Zionist-esque flags where it's not, it's if actually I've seen flags that have the Star of David that are anti-Zionist flags as well. So I mean, the thing is it is possible, honestly, to have flags of this type of sentiment. Actually, there's a Etsy shop that I follow that sells flags and shit like that, and that's kind of left leaning in some way. I should actually share it to you, Rose. You might like it because they have some of the flags I'm talking about. A flag of a nuclear boom. Go play Fallout. Yeah, go play Fallout if you want that. I like how Rose is just go play Fallout. I'm gonna be stepped out to stepped up. You're grounded. Go play Fallout. Actually, that would be an awesome grounding punishment.
Kentucky journalist Tessa Duvall shared a screenshot of the text in question, and if you look at line 13 here, you can see, he just crossed off first cousin from the list, which would legalize sexual intercourse between first cousins in the state of Kentucky. Now, this absolutely blew up online with everyone laughing at him, and rightfully so, by the way. But what made this even more viral
is the fact that this guy probably unironically wants to fuck his cousin, so he's just like, you know what, I need to make sure it's legal, so I'm going to cross it out on this little shit. Dude, I bet this Kentucky, Republican fuck, unironically wants to do that.
Fact that we're not just talking about any Republican here. Nick Wilson is actually the winner of the 37th season of Survivor called David versus Goliath.
This guy was on a reality TV show, dude. Oh my god. What the fuck?
And he then came back for another season.
What in the fuck is this, dude? Look at him. Oh my god, trying to be a wannabe badass, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. Holy fuck. Oh god damn, this is good. Oh hell yeah.
Survivor Winners at War. So it's not just the political community that was laughing at him. It's also the Survivor community, which is actually pretty large, that was laughing at him as well. Everyone teamed up to dunk on Nick Wilson for presumably wanting to fuck his cousin. Although, who knows? He just wrote the bill, right? Now, other survivors even made TikTok.
He looks like a Wish version of Solid Snake, dude. He totally does, bro. F in the chat. Nah, seems like we're fine.
To his bill.
I think that's a problem on you, buddy. Pretty sure. At least I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh my God, I've got some wild news. I'm Eliza Orlins, career public defender in Manhattan for the last 14 years, but also, as some of you may know, I was a contestant on Survivor Vanuatu and Survivor Micronesia Fans versus Favorites. This news relates to David vs. Goliath winner of Survivor, Nick Wilson, who then leveraged the fame that he obtained from winning Survivor to run for Kentucky State Legislature and get elected. Nick Wilson is not only supporting but has introduced a bill that would reclassify incest in the state of Kentucky to not include your own first cousin. Kentucky,
which also, it didn't have second or third cousins in there either. So, you can still technically fuck your cousin anyway, even with or without this law being changed. It just has to specifically not be your first cousin, unless this gets passed. Cause what the fuck? Phantom, you are a fucking piece of goddamn Alabamian, hillbilly degenerate shit, dude. Oh my god. You're a goddamn fucking hillbilly, you know that?
Many other places is facing a lot of issues, and this is Nick's top legislative.
You need a moonshine fucking jug, with the triple X on it going. And then every now and then you just, grab the goddamn banjos and be like. You just need to get a little banjo, get a little triple X fucking moonshine jug, and just
He is sponsoring this bill, and in fact, he has introduced this bill.
Now we're just seeing
a little inbreeding. The death of man. Oh my god, you're just a disgusting pig. Honestly, the fucked up thing is, I unironically don't know if you're trolling or not. I'm not even kidding. I really don't know if you are or not. But it is your fault. You find out which I just typing. Yeah, bruh. Not trolling.
Of the reaction.
You better be fucking trolling. You really better be fucking trolling, my guy.
Because it would take too long if I tried to give you the totality of the reaction to this, because it's about what you'd expect, right? So, long story short, they're roasting the shit out of him, but he did respond to the backlash, and he claims that it's not what it looks like. He's saying it was an accident. He didn't mean to accidentally legalize incest.
How do you accidentally... What? How do you even do that? How do you accidentally legalize... Okay. What?
Saying that sentence out loud.
What the... How do you do that? It's like... Oh, what? How do you accidentally cross out, like first cousin in that? Like, what? Dude, bruh.
Goddamn. Anyways, on his official Facebook page, he writes, I filed HB 269 yesterday. The purpose of the bill is to add sexual contact to the incest statute. Currently, incest only applies in cases of intercourse, so sexual touching/groping by uncles, stepdads, or anyone with a familial relationship is not included in incest. My bill makes that kind of sexual contact a Class D felony unless the victim is under the age of 12. Then it increases the penalty to...
You know what? It should be a felony just because of Venom. Fuck you, Venom. Nah.
C felony. During the drafting process...
See, what happened was I was looking over the document very carefully. Did I sneeze accidentally, signed a document making it illegal to fuck your cousin? And yes!
An inadvertent change which struck first cousins from the list of relationships included under the incest statute, and I failed to add it back in. During today's
session... Okay. Oh, now you're starting to walk it back. Oh, now you're walking it back, man. Fucking Alabamian hillbilly freak.
I will withdraw HB 269 and refile...
You can get the man out of Alabama, but you can't take Alabama out of the man.
Bill with the first cousin language intact. The fact that I was able to file a bill, cash the mistake, withdraw the bill, and refile within a 24-hour period shows that we have a good system. Whatever you say. This is
a good system? What? Okay, bud. You do you, Nick.
Bat a problem of familial and cyclical abuse that transcends generations of Kentuckians. I understand that I made a mistake, but I sincerely hope my mistake doesn't hurt the chances of the corrected version of the bill. It is a good bill, and I hope it will get a second chance. Now,
I've noticed that also, even with this, there's people that react to it with a laughing emoji on Facebook. Dude, oh my god. I mean, you know what? Just for Venom, I actually unironically agree with with this, as like the corrected version of the bill, obviously. So, I mean, just for you, out of spite, because, I'm pretty sure it probably was fine before, but yeah, I mean, when it comes to maybe adding a little extra nuance, be like, yeah, touch and groping should probably be included in this. Yeah, sure. But the crossing out of the first cousin thing, I don't think that was just some accident. People noticed it and memed it into oblivion, and then it reacted being like, oh shit. And kind of had to reverse that decision. So, yeah, I mean, everything else is fine, I guess, but, there's just some weird implication going on with that, accident.
That is...
Venom with the actual foot. Dude. Just. Dude. Bro.
A hell of a fuck up to make. But regardless if you think it's an honest mistake or not, nobody in his district seemingly believes him. There weren't more than 20 replies to this post, but not a single one of them thought that he was telling the truth.
And you're seriously fucking just disturbed.
And this is just kind of a small snapshot of some of the responses, but I mean, they were dunking on him. You see memes about how his cousin might be reacting, and a twist on the "Don't Tread on Me" flag that says "Don't DNA test me."
Don't DNA test. Okay, that's awesome. Oh my god, I love it. I unironically love it. Oh my lord, I love it. I unironically love it, dude. That is awesome. I like that one, Lamau. Dude, I unironically love it, dude. Dude, that would be... Dude, Walter Masters just should wave that flag around and go to, one of these fucking rallies, dude. Dude, that looks perfect to be, some sort of, insider trolling fucking conservatives at a rally. Dude, that flag looks fucking perfect for that. Because, dude, how much do you want to bet some people will be like, damn right, brother, I don't want my DNA going to some corporation government or whatever. Dude, you know some people are going to be gullible enough to think it's some other bullshit, you know, or like actually, you know what it means and be like, yeah, that's right. I don't want them DNA testing me knowing that I'm like a disturbed, weird mutant from my brother and my sister. Like, I mean, you know, so either way, it's a good one. I unironically love that one. See, like, shocking, edgy humor can be amusing and funny. Dude, like, this guy should not be anywhere near children.
Somebody actually responded to a different post about a different topic, and they shared an image of Michael Cera's character from Arrested Development, which says Representative Nick Wilson on his way to make it legal to bang his cousins. Now, for those who've never seen the show, Michael Cera's character has a crush on his cousin, so there's the context. Now, funny enough, he actually replied to this one saying, "Please see my recent post. I understand the stereotype and that I may be the butt of some jokes. I can take it, but please be mindful of the people I am trying to protect." And when it comes to Eliza Orlins, the fellow Survivor alum that made the TikTok, she also seemingly does not believe him, because 2 hours after he made that post, she reposted the text of the law with first cousin conspicuously striked out and just said, "K." So nobody's really buying it. Now, if I were to just look at the part that Eliza had shared, I'd probably agree with her that he's probably lying. But if you zoom out and you look at lines 4 and 5, we'll put both tweets on the screen so you can see what I mean. His explanation does check out, at least in part. He is expanding the definition of incest to include sexual contact, and that is important. It's a loophole that may allow sexual predators to escape accountability, so it is important that he's doing that, and he does have...
And that's why I actually don't mind the bill when it's at least corrected. You know, like when he decided to correct that shit, which good. But, I mean, at least with the other stuff, it's still there, so... I mean, at least that's good. Like, I mean, I got no problems with that. So now that, honestly, it's been rectified with the issue and shit, whatever. I say that's fine, you know, at least, you know, hopefully, you know, I kind of weirdly agree. I hope it doesn't, like, jeopardize this bill, but I don't know. I don't think it will, because, I mean, if it got pulled and then it got corrected a little, you know, by putting back the first cousin thing and then putting it back up, you know, I think it'll be okay.
That this is indeed what he wanted to do. And I'll admit that him striking first cousin in the first...
Maybe he's joking, but I'm still eyeing him a little. Paul? Yeah, I remember there was like a story once where, yeah, I think he told a story about that once. I think it was when he was like a teen or some shit. I don't even remember like all the details to it, but yeah, I kind of remembered something about that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember the exact context.
It's extremely bizarre. It's a weird mistake to make in the first place, and to not unstrike it is also very strange. But if he actually introduces an edited version, then the legislation would do what he says it would do. It would increase penalties for incestuous predators. And that's a good thing. So I do actually believe that this was an honest mistake, and I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, assuming the error is corrected and the bill is reintroduced by the time you see this video. We'll see what...
And there is an update right there. Update, he did it. Add sexual content and incest, but this bill makes no other changes to the current law. And so he did. You know, I mean, on one hand, I think I'm willing to maybe give the benefit of the doubt and say there was probably a mistakenness, but I don't know, man. The sus vibes are on with this guy. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at this fucking weird dork, dude. I mean, it's like... I mean, you know, he just feels a little off, you know what I mean? So, like, whatever. I mean, I'll give him benefit of the doubt on this one, I guess.
But, having said that, though, we absolutely should not let him off the hook entirely. And I say this because even if this little shitstorm that he stirred up inadvertently, seemingly, if we're being extra charitable here, never happened, this is still a bad person. Nick Wilson is still a Republican who is predictably using his power in harmful ways. People magazine reports on the evening of March 16th, this is 2023, Both chambers of Kentucky's Republican majority legislature passed SB 150, a bill that begins with the words, "an act relating to children." Initially, the bill allowed teachers to use pronouns aligned with their students' biological sex, even if the student didn't identify with them. But as the debate went on, the bill was expanded to include additional provisions. Among other things, the bill includes a ban on gender-affirming care for trans youth. Doctors would be required to set a...
So an anti-trans bill. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised at all because he's a Republican dipshit, so it's pretty typical.
Line to detransition children already taking puberty blockers or undergoing hormone therapy. The bill also prohibits schools from discussing sexual orientation or gender identity with students of any age and prohibits discussing human sexuality or sexually transmitted diseases before the 6th grade.
I got sex ed at 5th grade. I mean, and some people that I've talked to, you know, when they were getting sex ed shit, they would get it as young as like 4th grade and shit. I mean, I never heard it go any younger than like 3rd grade or anything, but I for me at least, I got that shit in 5th grade. That's when we started learning about that. I mean, you know, so what? Seriously?
The controversial bill easily passed the Senate by a vote of 30.
Religion was a mistake, dude. Religion, just organized religion and across the board is just a fucking mistake, dude. Like, goddamn.
But one of the freshman lawmakers...
Until touch sauce is bad and girls who have sex are like used gum. Oh my fucking god. What in the fuck, dude? Dude, that's what's wrong with society right there.
Has received considerable national attention and back.
And this guy too. Oh my god, what a fucking demon, dude. Jesus, look at him. You cannot tell me this guy's a PDF file, bro. Like, dude, you cannot tell me he wants to diddle a kid or two. Oh my god, what a fuck, he's honestly freaky to look at.
For supporting it, Representative Nick Wilson.
Fucking like demonic megamind over here, dude.
Before he took office, Wilson was a reality star on America's longest-running reality TV show. So Nick Wilson is no hero. He is a terrible person who supported a draconian crackdown on LGBTQ+ rights that literally forces teenagers to detransition, which puts them at greater risk of suicide. It's monstrous. Now, the harm that he did was actually explained to him by fellow Survivor castmates. For example, Christian Hubicki, who competed against...
If multiverse is real, then somewhere in time, ignore it. Well, I guess by that logic, literally everybody is at that rate. I was gonna say, he looks like a botched Megamind Zuckerberg hybrid. Dude, he totally does! Oh my god, he totally does! Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Tweeted.
And by the way, you know, in the multiverses where, you know, I'm a PDF, then, well, guess what? I will go to that multiverse and make sure that he is no longer a thing.
Gender-affirming care is a lifesaver for transgender youth. So says the scientific evidence, as these major medical associations have recommended access to comprehensive gender-affirming care for transgender youth and issued policies and detailed guidelines for its use. He then links to the evidence in a follow-up tweet. Also, fellow Survivor winner Adam Klein, who competed against Wilson on Winners at War, subtweeted him saying, quote, "I am heartbroken and angry at the way trans people and especially trans children are being discriminated against all over this country. We are going so backwards. If you take away gender-affirming care from a kid who needs it, you are on the so wrong side of history." On top of that, People magazine continues. Ricard Foyer, who competed on Survivor 41 and is part of a long-term queer couple, tells People that he first met Wilson at a charity event and they immediately hit it off. Quote, "I valued what I thought was an authentic relationship that we had built despite our differences," he says. But Foyer now sees the friendship differently. Quote, "It is hard to feel so understood, so seen by a person while I shared the transitioning process, healthcare woes, and the lack of humanity we experience just being queer and living in this world." Foyer continues, "And then, after all of that, for that person to turn around and vote for essentially criminalizing being trans, I am not a lesser human for who I am, nor is my husband. However, Nick Wilson is a lesser human for not..."
Ask me what the best part of Crusader Kings 3 is. I haven't gotten a chance to update it or play it yet. Like, the last time I tried playing it was when I was in Texas, and it just, like, it would not run.
The people of this country, and especially the amazing trans youth of Kentucky, as human beings and using their rights and freedoms as means of gaining popularity in his political ventures. Also, two-time Survivor contestant Eliza Orleans, who also made the TikTok about him, if you'll remember, who ran for district attorney in Manhattan in 2020, also expressed her outrage at the bill. And Wilson, quote, Nick Wilson is a bigoted, cruel person who is using his Survivor platform to harm kids and families in Kentucky, she tells People. It's disgusting to see him not just vote for, but in fact, sponsor horrific transphobic legislation. It's hateful and discriminatory. As someone who ran for office myself, to watch Nick use his voice and his political positions to actively hurt people is awful to witness. Exactly. And seeing this context, it makes more sense as to why Eliza wasn't really willing to give him the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the incestuous kerfuffle. Now, to make matters worse...
That Venom is also doing in my chat. Like, Jesus Christ. Ay. Yeah, what Rose's emote just is just how I feel. Just dead. Like, bruh. Like, I know, like, you can do pretty much damn near anything when it comes to stuff like that. Crusader Kings 3, I've seen gameplay of it. Bruh, like, if I see, like, you know, my sister in that game, you know, get a nice booty, I'm gonna, like, have her marry, like, you know, some king that I want, you know, to be loyal to me and on my side and merge with my kingdom or something. That's what I'll be doing.
We now know that Nick is not ignorant because he became friends with Ricard, who is a member of the LGBTQ plus community. This is a gay man who is married to a trans man whose husband was literally pregnant while he was on Survivor. So to build up that friendship with somebody who's marginalized, who tells you about their community only to be thrown under the bus by your friend, I'm sorry, that just makes you a really shitty person. And once again, Nick responded to the backlash, and he's insufferable. We'll just put it that way. He says, quote, I am shocked by the collective outrage and the number of people who believe this topic is black and white, without room for debate. I didn't cast my vote out of hate, but out of compassion. Yeah.
Oh my God. You gotta love the compassionate conservatism bullshit, dude. I mean, like, the compassionate conservatism of Christianity and, you know, conservatives in the right wing will be the most phallus, abusive, like, manipulative shit, dude. It's just so gross. Oh, yeah, some venom repellent. Oh, dude, look at that beautiful sear on that steak, dude. Look at the beautiful red, medium rare tenderness. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, fucking lovely, dude. Delicious. I want all that right now. Looks raw. It's not raw, dude. Compassion for who? Rape? Yes. Compassion for, like, rapists, pastors, fucking, you know, child abusers, you know, like, yeah, that.
What literally every single bigot ever says.
It's raw.
Oh,
no, it's not. Dude, you are in... Oh, whatever.
We don't hate the sinner. We hate the sin. Fuck off. Listen, in conclusion, I think that he may have plausible deniability when it comes to wanting to fuck his cousin. Right? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. But make no mistake
Well, we can't do that for Venom.
This is a cruel, heartless person who was denounced by his own friends because of harmful...
And the fact that steak is paired with asparagus. Honestly, for me, like, asparagus is okay, but, like, I want something different than asparagus if I'm eating a steak. I want, like, some mashed potatoes, some gravy, maybe, like, some onion rings, like, some tots or something. Like, fuck, honestly, even a salad, you know? Like, I mean, I want something else besides just asparagus, you know? Like, you know, have asparagus in the salad, you know? Like, I'll be okay with that, you know? Like, but just asparagus? Yeah, I'll pass on asparagus. I guess the idea is that you cut asparagus up and then you eat it with the steak or something. I don't know, but either way, I want a little something more, you know, than just asparagus.
That he supported is now law in the state of Kentucky. And that is a damn shame.
But it has to be crispy, yeah.
So maybe we shouldn't shame him and make fun of him for wanting to fuck his cousin. But he should absolutely be ridiculed for the harmful legislation that he supported that hurts trans youth.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Play stupid games. F around and find out. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Play stupid games. Pride. Trans rights are human rights. It is necessary to push trans on the kid. Pride.
Dude, I love fucking Human Support's outros, dude. Dude, that, like, honestly, low-key is a banger. Just like, fucking clip Ben Shapiro out of contest saying, trans rights are human rights. Okay. Right. I like how he made him sound like a fucking, like, goat or something there at the end. Ben Shapiro does kind of, like, remind me of, like, some little miniature, like, mini goat, like Billy Goat or something. What every con sees when they get to the gates. Lord, we have not prophesied in thy name. In thy name we have cast out devils. In thy name have done many wonderful works. And I'll profess unto them, depart from me and I will never know you. Whoa, dude. Whoa. Dude, this honestly, like, if you take the wording out, dude, this looks like it would be a fucking badass metal album, dude. Like, either like a thrash album or like a death metal album. Hell, even like some hardcore punk or some shit even. But mostly metal. Like, I'm thinking like some metal album. That's what I see out of this. It looks fucking dope. I would call the album The Sins of Christ. It'd just be like an anti-Christian album. New metal album. I could potentially see it as a new metal album even. A Sewed album. Maybe not Sewed, but I could see this being like a Disturbed or like a Slipknot album, hypothetically. Or at least like a band that's, got like that style or something. I mean, honestly, I could kind of see like, different genres of metal like incorporating something like this as an album. I like it though. The eyes kind of feel uncanny though, but I kind of like that. Maybe Disturbed if they're a bit heavier. Yeah. I can see that. I know there was like an Neuralink up there, wasn't? Oh, I guess I got all the links, okay. But yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, let's do a little time check. It's 3:29. Motherfuck. Man, why has time got to fly so fast? And it's gonna be like soggy, soaking fucking wet outside too. Yeah, oh, good lord. That means, should I even take you to the fucking karaoke bar Friday or Saturday? Because if it stays soaking wet, I'm not taking you. I don't want you being a wet little soaky little boy. Oh my god. Okay. Look at this fucking ball, dude. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me take the screen off. Let's see if Streamlabs wants to be friendly with me. Don't do dumb shit, Streamlabs, please. Yeah, you didn't. Cool. Look at this little ball. Look at that little ball, dude. Oh. Just look at him. He's so cute. Sweet little ball. Oh, you got a cute little ball, you is. So adorable, just wrapped up in a little ball like that. Oh, you're just so cute. I know it's funny to say, but I discovered Hollywood Undead, a group I ignored in school because it was popular to hate them. I think I've heard of them, but I don't think I've listened to anything of them. To be honest, I don't really know much about them. So I guess, like, a lot of the kids, growing up at school probably, were just, like, into other shit. Rap rock? Oh. I mean, they probably, like I said, I know I've heard of them, but I just haven't heard of anything of them before. Better than Papa Roach? Well, hey, I'll listen to one of their songs on my way to work. Fuck it. I'll check out some of their shit. Why not? Expand discography a little bit. See what they're about. Because I know I've heard of them before, I just never have listened to any of their music. Honestly, I probably have, like, heard a song or two by them and just never have known. So, oh. Get out, see how I feel about them. But anyway, let me cash this bowl out and then hopefully it's not fucking busy. Hopefully it's not fucked at work, but it probably is. That's a good one. All right. Yeah, I'll listen to it. Nice. Ooh, that was a good hit. Anyway, I'll just get myself out to work and all that shit. And I'll check the song out. So, peace out for now. And of course, I'll be back when I get off work and all that fun stuff. So,